Hi students, welcome to Sunil's tutorial. I am Sunil Mirwani and today we will be doing this chapter called as cost of capital. Let's see this. Illustration 12, page 161. They've given you Ahora company has the following capital structure, right? Sources. The sources are given to you as equity shares, 6% preference shares and 8% debentures. Amount is given to you as 80 lakhs, 20 lakhs and 60 lakhs. Rupees in lakhs. Okay, so this is going to be total is 160 lakhs, right? Now the first thing that you need to do is find out proportion. How do I find out proportion, guys? Amount divided by total. It is amount divided by total. So it is going to be equity divided by total. Equity is 80 lakhs. Equity is 80 lakhs divided by 160 lakhs. That's 50%, right? 6% preference shares is 20 lakhs divided by 160 lakhs is going to be 12.5%, and 8% debentures is 60 lakhs divided by 160 lakhs is going to be 37.5%, right? So first thing that you do is find out proportion, then you find out cost of capital. Now, how do I find out cost of equity? Cost of equity is given by the formula dividend per share upon market price per share into 100 plus growth. They have given me that the shares of the company sell for 20 rupees. That means the market price per share is 20. It is expected that the company will pay next year a dividend of 2. So dividend is given to you as 2. Growth is given to you as 7%. So this will work out to 17%. So cost of capital is 17%. For cost of preference share, you write this amount here as it is. Whatever is the dividend rate of preference share, you write it as it is. Cost of debenture. Cost of debenture is given by the formula I into 1 minus T. The interest rate of debenture is 8%, 1 minus T. T stands for tax rate. Tax rate is given to you as 35%. 35% is nothing but 0.35. How 0.35? 35% is 35 upon 100. That's how 0.35. So this will be 8 into 0.65. When you multiply this, this should work out to 5.2%. So this is going to be 5.2%. Now, next you find out the weighted cost. Guys, how do we do the weighted cost? Proportion into cost of capital will give you the weighted cost. So 50 into 17%, you have to consider 50 as the number and cost of capital as the percentage. So 50 into 17% is 8.5%. 12.5 into 6% is nothing but 0.75%, right? 37.5 into 5.2 is 1.95%. Add all this. If you add all this, this comes to 11.2%. Therefore, your weighted cost of capital is 11.2%. This was the first part of the sum. Now let's see the second part of the sum. They've said that second part of the sum. They've said that compute the new weighted average cost of capital if the company raises an additional 40 lakh debt by issuing 10% debentures. That means my sources are going to be equity, which was already there, 6% preference share, which is again there, 8% debentures. Besides this, I am issuing another 10% debentures. Okay, amount rupees in lakhs. Equity is already given to you as 80 lakhs, 6% preference shares 20 lakhs, 8% debentures 60 lakhs, and they are saying that we are issuing another new 10% debentures of 40 lakhs. So this is going to be 200 lakhs. The total amount is going to be 200 lakhs. Find out proportion. How do I find out proportion? 80 divided by 200, 40%. 20 divided by 200, 10%. 60 divided by 200, 30%. 40 divided by 200, 20%. Right? Now, let's find out cost of equity. Cost of equity, they are saying that this will result in an increase in the expected dividend to rupees 3. Now we know that cost of equity is given by the formula dividend upon market price into 100 plus growth. They are saying that the dividend will become 3 rupees per share. The price will fall to 15 rupees. Market price will fall to 15 rupees plus the growth will remain unchanged. So growth was 7%. So this is 1 upon 5, 27%. This is going to be 27%. So your cost of capital will be 27%, 6% preference shares as it is, 8% debentures. Let's find out cost of debentures. I1 minus tax. Interest rate I1 minus tax. Tax is 0.35. 8 into 0.65, which is nothing but 5.2. So this will remain 5.2%. And cost of the other debenture KD is I1 minus tax. Here the interest rate is 10%. So 10, 1 minus 0.35, 10 into 0.65, which is 6.5%. Now find out the weighted cost. How do I find out the weighted cost? Weighted cost is nothing but proportion into cost of capital. 40 into 27%. 40 into 27% is going to give you 10.8%. 10 into 6% will give you 6%, 0.6%. Right? 30 into 5.2% will give you 1.56%. And 20 into 6.5% will give you 1.3%. If I add all this will give me 14.26%. So this is going to be my weighted cost of capital. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Now let's see the third part of the question. The third part of the question, they are saying compute the cost of capital if the growth rate increases to 12%. Sources. So whatever are my new sources, they are saying that calculate the cost of capital assuming the new sources. So sources are going to be equity, 6% preference, 8% debentures and 10% debentures. Amount in rupees in lakhs. This is 80 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 40 lakhs. Total is 200 lakhs. Find out the proportion. Proportion, this is going to be 40%, 10%, 30%, 20%. Cost of capital. Now, let's first find out the cost of equity. Cost of equity is dividend upon market price into 100 plus growth. They are saying that the only thing that is going to change is the growth rate. So dividend will remain 3, market price will remain 15, but the growth rate they are saying is going to change to 12%. So this is 32%, right? So this is going to be 32%. Preference shares, you write the same percentage. This we have already calculated using the formula is 5.2% and 6.5%. We already calculated, guys, you can see this here. We have already calculated this here, 5.2% and 6.5%. Now, let's find out the weighted cost. Weighted cost. 40 into 32% is nothing but 12.8%. 10 into 6% is 0.6%. 30 into 5.2% is 1.56%. And 20 into 6.5% is 1.3%. When you add all this, you will get 16.2%. This is going to be my weighted cost of capital. Weighted cost of capital. Right? This finishes the sum. We will stop here for the day. Thank you very much.